Greetings, beautiful ones. I am Nakamura, speaking on behalf of oneness. I said I'd be with you in a week or two. I've been meditating today here, and it seems like what was necessary has arisen earlier, so I'm going to give it to you today. So, I left you saying that I will introduce some things that will undo divisions. Well, before I begin that, I'm going to introduce an element of the nervous system, so everyone, every single person on the planet can see how their children are being turned into cash cows, are potentially turned into cash cows by the pharmaceuticals, by the medical health systems for the pharmaceuticals. So, the nervous system. What is the nature of the neuron? There is neurogenesis, the neuron is birthed. There is neuroplasticity, where the neuron is moved around the body and joins a circuit or forms a circuit or embeds a circuit further. And then there's neuroatrophication, where the neuron dies if it isn't used. Now, on the whole, this process takes 9 days. 9 days. Okay, so every 9 days, more or less, you have a cycle of neurons birthing and dying in your body if you don't use them. Now, neuroscience knows that the brain, the nervous system, is activity dependent, activity development dependent. So, without activity, there is no development. For connectivity within the nervous system, for functionality within the nervous system, everything requires an activity. Learning to write, learning to speak, learning to use your eyes, everything requires an activity. So, let's take a look at the pharmaceutical industry that provides drugs for ADHD and all these other kind of related disorders of the brain, of the nervous system. Now, every one of these drugs, when provided to the body, they target an area of the brain and they shut off the neurons in that area of the brain. They literally shut them down. So, your brain isn't being used, that part of your nervous system isn't being used. So there is no activity-related development. In fact, there is no activity, no inhibition-related activity. So your nervous system is literally dying from the use of this drug, literally. Now, you cannot tell me that neurologists do not know this. You cannot tell me that eminent MDs do not know this. Of course they know this. They are all in on it. Everyone's being paid. Now, here is proof. Clinical Guidelines 79 or 97 for the UK National Health System. They've worked with the National Institute for Health in America and other global systems to develop a percentage of children every year that they will increase the number of children taking these drugs, methyl-related drugs, for ADHD, ADD, autism, and other related drugs. They have said that every year they're going to give this percentage more the drug. Now, they're not basing this on any actual disorder within a child. They're basing this on a market-related activity for the pharmaceutical companies. Now, the knock-on effect of giving this drug to a 3-year-old, because they're stating that they're going to give these drugs to 3-year-olds, because at the moment, or when I last read it in 2015, they were only giving it to 5-year-olds and upwards. The global health systems were looking at beginning a 3-year-old commencing of giving these drugs. So you give a child 3 of these drugs and shut down their brain, they are never going to be a full human being. They are always going to be a cash cow to the pharmaceuticals for the rest of their life. And the neurologists and the doctors, they are very much aware of this. Let's not. What I told you about the activity-related dependence of the brain is basic neurology. Basic. What I told you about the neuron is basic neurology, neurophysiology, basic. Anyway, so couple this with the fact that all mental health related reports recently are saying that mental health has only increased by 3 to 5% every year. Now, if you look at the percentage of children that are increasing with a drug like this every year, they kind of match. So you have to ask yourself, is this a coordinated plan to keep the pharmaceuticals in business, or is this something that is just happening? Ask yourselves. Remember, Clinical Guidelines 79, and I think the National Institute for Health Strategic Paper 2010 for 2010 to 2015. I've read these, and they all concur, and they are literally killing the children of every single one of you. Right, that's one. The other one is for you army men and you policemen. Now, a high percentage of you suffer from PTSD when you come back from your tours or other related malfunctions of the brain due to stress because of the experiences you had. Now, they tell you that there's no way to heal these things. And many families are broken up because of this. Many children are without a father or without a mother because of this. But they found out how to heal this in 1941. They were doing the studies on how to heal PTSD and related diseases from the First World War. Now, King's College in 1941 wrote a paper in an Edinburgh Medical Journal, which was subsequently discontinued. 1941, June 1941, the Edinburgh Medical Journal. And I can't remember the doctor's name, but who headed the project, but they wrote all the ways that PTSD could be healed. Now, it's funny because the ways that they say PTSD could be healed is exactly the same way I and my ex-business partner said it could be healed, more so myself, on utilizing the nervous system's functionality, the breath, reducing stress naturally, changing your diet. They wrote all these things, but hey, no pharmaceuticals make money in the process. So the journal was shut down and never heard of again, and the process was subsequently sideswiped. Now today, you have millions all over the world of Marines, armed forcemen who are suffering from this disease. Millions of families which are broken apart because this disease has broken their family apart. Meanwhile, it could be healed. Now, the only reason why they don't heal it, they give you drugs to keep you a cash cow to the system. They give you drugs because that way you're never going to be healed. You're always going to be provided with a profit, because the other way you were healed 100%. Remember, Edinburgh Medical Journal, June 1941. Go read this for yourself. Clinical Guidelines 79, National Institute of Clinical Excellence in the UK and the NHS, and the National Institute for Health Strategic Plan for 2010 to 2015. See these things for yourself. They are planning the death of your children every day. Right. So those are for every human being on earth, and specifically for the Marines and the police who have to suffer these things too. So you go ahead, read these things for yourself, see that I'm telling you the truth. And then begin your contemplative process. Use the breath, become centered, don't you doing silly things. And work out what your next step will be, because if this is the way society is, that they're planning the death of your children, something has to change, right? There is no way that you can allow 3 to 5% of children globally to be dying actively from 3 years old. Can we allow this? Okay. So you make up your own minds once you see it for yourself. El Camino, speaking on behalf of humanity, for humanity, because you need to awaken and live, my people. Ra's light is real. Oneness is I. One love.